Welcome back to a very special review. And before we get into this is not my personal tank. I actually do believe we have this unbuilt somewhere, but we're here today at Music City Bricks, run by a good man named Stosh. And anyway, we're going to talk to you about an old Brickmania kit, and this is the start of a series where we're going to be reviewing a ton of different sets. And if you haven't checked out the announcement video, you can go watch that now. It's going to be linked up there somewhere above me. But anyway, you can go check that out and see all the fine sets we're going to be reviewing. But we're starting off with a pretty good one here. The Mark A Whippet, from a tank from World War I. And there's some special stuff with this, some special printed stuff. And we're going to take a look at the instructions and see how they are different, possibly back in the day. But Dave, can you tell us some facts about this tank specifically?
There are a lot of facts concerning this tank. Joshua, did you know? True or false? The Mark A Whippet was the fastest tank in World War I. Now, before you answer that question, the tank could go a robust 8 miles an hour.
Now, I'm going to say, since you asked me this question, I'm thinking true.
It is true. The Whippet was the fastest tank in World War I.
Dang.
And it was designed to be faster than the big tanks. See, the big tanks would create holes in the enemy lines. And the thinking among the military planners was, we need a smaller, sleeker, faster implement that can go through those gaps that are created by our big tanks and create some chaos. So that's what they did. There was only about 200 of these produced during the war. The design was very, very primitive by any standards. Each tread had its own engine. So operating a Whippet was kind of like operating a big pipe organ. The driver had to use 2 feet. He had to get everything coordinated. It also was primitive in the fact that let's just say insulation between the engine and the cab was not all that great. So often fumes from the engine would engulf the inside of the cab, so the driver and the other occupants would have to put on gas masks in order not to... Yeah. Tank would also break down constantly, and leaving it easy prey for the Germans to come along and destroy it. But it did have 4 Hotchkiss machine guns. And because it had 4 on each side, it could attack at any angle. And assuming that the Whippet was actually up and running, which it was some of the time anyway, the Germans really didn't have much of a way to stop it because they lacked, this being very early in the history of tank warfare, the Germans lacked any anti-tank weaponry that could take it down.
They didn't even have a tank themselves when this was made, right? Not until later in the war. Anyway, how many guys were fitting into the cab of this?
There was a crew of 3 or 4. It weighed 14 tons. It had a 160-mile range. This model has the historically correct red and white paint combination. When the Whippet was up and running, it could wreak some serious havoc. And Exhibit A would be a Whippet known affectionately by its crew as the Musical Box.
The Musical Box.
The Musical Box.
It's a cheery name.
By Lieutenant C.B. Arnold. C.B. and his men took the Musical Box on a wild 9-hour ride behind German lines. They shot down an observation balloon. They attacked infantry. They destroyed supplies. They devastated supply lines. They just went nuts for 9 hours. And that was quite the accomplishment then as well as now.
Dave, what year was this produced?
2017. It retailed for $200 back then. 455 pieces designed by Cody Ozell, and it included 1 minifigure.
Yes.
And the minifigure, you get a close-up of him in a minute, but it has like a medieval armor kind of thing that covers his face, and those were actually worn by crewmen to keep shrapnel and whatnot from hitting them in the face when they were in the wake of or in the forefront of enemy fire.
Yep, there's 2 stud wide track links on it and all kinds of details, so I think we're going to bring you in right now. Here's a look at the instructions here, and as you can see, they're, I think, pretty similar to instructions that they have now, if I'm not mistaken. So here's the tank right here, and here's the top hatch, which is one of the first features that you can use this for, to kind of make it more slimmed down and everything. But as you can see, this is actually pretty small for a World War I tank. Got the 4 guns there, the Hotchkiss machine guns. You got some Kaiser grinder right there, which I guess is the men affectionately named this tank. You got a lot of studs on the side, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. It does kind of give this more rugged aesthetic to it. Anyway, and then also you got a little bit of the coloring up there. Very striking model, in my opinion. Very kind of smooth, but not on the sides. It's not really smooth there, but on the top it is. You can, I believe, take this out and kind of get a look at the engine. Kind of a bare bones engine, you know, but still an engine nonetheless. That kind of fits right there. You got smoke coming out, and they use the revolver piece as like smoke kind of going up, pretty sure, or an exhaust kind of thing. The interior, I don't know how much of an interior there is. So you can't open it up, but there isn't really much of an interior. I believe there is two antenna pieces there to kind of represent the joysticks. I mean the zero turn more-esque kind of levers in there. But anyway, so that door does open up. Here's the numbers here, number 6 and 8423, which I guess would be the tank number. And the tracks do roll pretty well. Not on this smooth surface, but a little bit. I'm sure if you were on a little bit more of a grippy surface, it'd roll much nicer. And so, just kind of your classic kind of Brickmania thing. They're actually starting to come out with classic minifigures. I don't know, Dave, if you've seen those.
Yes. At the lower price point.
Yes.
Which nation build, army build.
Nation build. I like that.
Yeah.
But that's the mask Dave was talking about there, which is very medieval-like, which is pretty cool to see. Nothing, you know, too fancy, but still a nice minifigure, 360 printing all around. So yeah, a nice addition to the set. Another thing that I've actually I don't think I've seen, and I don't know if this came with this set or... So apparently in older Brickmania sets, it looks like you could build up a little bit of a stand there to have, and I don't think we have those pieces with us, but you could do that for the older sets and stuff. So I actually never knew that, so that's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Reason to seek out these old sets. Now, this one is actually available in Brickmania's World War II book. World War I book,
Part
2.
Alright, so we're going to take a quick look at the Brick Arms collection here at Music City Bricks, run by Stosh. Stosh, you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, so over here at Music City Bricks, we carry a lot of Brick Arms products. Eventually our goal will be to carry every single thing they make. Right now we carry a good portion of their catalog. But if you're doing any of your Brickmania builds and you need to arm your minifigures, we've got to always have a good selection. Pretty soon we will have every color and every style of helmet and vest that they offer. And then we're working through all the individual guns and knives and such, and getting them stocked.
Including the the Workshop Wonders here. And so yeah, go give them a check. Alright, so that was the Mark A. Whippet review. Hope you enjoyed this review. Hope you're excited for all the other sets we have to review. And yeah, make sure to go watch that video to see all the stuff that we could do. Let me know what you want to see next. And let me know if you would pick this up for $200, did you say?
Well, that's what it was back in 2017.
Yes. Yeah.
Adjusted for today's prices, $850.
Okay.
Just kidding.
I don't know about that much.
It's a great tank. And actually, I think one of my favorite World War I tanks.
Yes.
It looks cool.
Very unique.
Feels solid. Yeah. I need 2 or 3 to exploit those gaps that the Mark V is going to be making. Just saying.
Cody Ozell was the designer, and now he is no longer with Brickmania. Started his own company, Brick Veteran, I believe.
Yes.
Which is very cool to see. So it's cool how he still has history with this, and we can see that. But anyway, I guess we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.